7th in my entire life. Bruising.
This guy's unbelievable. Brew, we need you back. Brew back Monday or Tuesday. We need him back, Wildes.
We're back from vacation, and because Nick stopped smoking
a long time ago.
7 days.
No, that's not true.
All of a sudden, he's claiming he can beat me in a bike race.
I told you I beat you in a doctor test.
A doctor test.
And I bike 20 miles every single day.
And I said, what type of bike do you have? He said, I don't have it. I said, do you have a helmet? He goes, no.
Oh.
I said,
all of a sudden, our great sponsor Peloton is not real biking. Tell them that. Tell my instructor.
You don't have an instructor that
I do.
You know. What's their name?
She's the girl that does the in-game entertainment for the Nets. Allie Love. That's her name.
Does
Bam.
Allie Love know you?
Oh, yeah. We've met at the Nets game. I said she's inspired my triathlon training.
Goodness
it's all true.
7-2 since Luka joined the team. Got over on the Clippers last night. 2 wins in a row against the Clippers. Popped into the title conversation in a real way. Here are the odds. OKC is number 1 because they're the best team. The Celtics are number 2 because they're the 3rd best team. The Cavs are number 3 because they're the 2nd best team. Lakers are in 2nd place in the West. They're tied for 4th with the Warriors. A little bit of a nostalgia. That's the nostalgia zone right there. And then the Denver Nuggets, who I saw yesterday in Boston. Not great.
They haven't quite been the same ever since you guaranteed they were going to go back to back.
Not the same without Aaron Gordon either, but just not good.
Yeah.
How legit are the Lakers' title chances?
I mean, as far as do they have a chance? Are they a legitimate contender? 1,000%.
Yeah, I think so.
And at this point, I'm very excited. This week they have a TNT game to see what the Chuckster says, because at some point you got to wave that white flag.
Which critique of Charles Barkley towards the Lakers are we trying to?
The idea. Well, I mean, when the trade happened, it was that the Lakers got worse and the Mavs were the big winners, at least for this year.
Yeah.
And that was an opinion a lot of people at least somewhat shared, was that for this year the Mavs might be better and that the Mavs were bigger contenders. And then there was the kind of universally held notion that the Lakers wouldn't be able to defend, that LeBron, smartest player ever, who's played more basketball literally than any human being ever to live, I don't think he's going to figure out how to play with a great player, guys. I just don't think, does he know there's only one ball? Like, what is he going to do? Turns out that you put one supercomputer with another supercomputer and the offense is great. Even when the one supercomputer, Luka, wasn't playing great, then yesterday LeBron didn't play great, Luka did. And of course, LeBron is better on defense when he doesn't have to carry the entire offensive workload. All of those things to me were pretty obvious. What I did not like, of course that would happen. I didn't see them all of a sudden becoming the best defense in basketball.
Yeah.
That's remarkable and almost inexplicable. But of course, you have 2 of the best 8 players in the world right now. And LeBron is still that without a doubt. Luka will be when he's back to full form. Of course you're a contender.
All right, so let's dig in on the defense.
Yeah.
Last 19 games, they are the best defensive team in the league, and 19 is not a small
It's a quarter
sample.
of the season.
So these are mixed in a little bit of a few AD games, but still 16-3, defensive rating 106 is best, opponent's field goal percentage under 42%.
And it really is just a few AD games, because AD got hurt before he was traded.
Yeah, so it didn't even count like the Knicks game.
I think it's just 6 AD games in that.
So here's the thing. This is the odd part of the defensive, their improvement. Their strategy, it seems to be, go ahead and shoot threes.
It's the old Bucks strategy under Coach Bud.
Oh yeah, but
they had a huge rim protector.
So that's the weird thing.
Yes.
So they're go ahead and shoot a 3. So opponents are shooting 46% of their points are coming from threes, except they're not making. They're only shooting
46% of their shots are coming from 3.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
But they're only making 32%.
Only making 32.
Yeah.
So, and then I was like, well, let me dig into these numbers. Celtics took 41. They made 13. The Warriors took 53. They made 16. Last night, the Clippers shot 39 and made 12. So at some point, either teams this is just a small sample size, even though it doesn't seem like a small sample size, and teams will start to hit these threes, or they are actually this good.
Well,
I'm not willing to say they're the best defensive team, but the numbers say they're the best.
Well, let me ask you a question, because you were at Celtics Nuggets.
Yeah.
And then I'll get to this specifically. If you looked at just the raw numbers of, wow, the Nuggets missed a lot of wide open threes in that game.
Well,
But those were wide open threes that the Celtics wanted to be wide open threes because they wanted Russell Westbrook shooting those threes.
He took 8.
He took 8. Christian Brown took 8. So they were. So I think that, yes, it is partially. I don't think they're going to continue. Opponents aren't going to continue shooting 32% necessarily, but it is intentional, and that then brings back a topic that at the beginning of the year, when the Lakers had a middling record or a similar record to last year, was a very popular topic on all these talk shows that talk about the Lakers and get very defensive. Anyone about the Lakers talks about the talk shows, was coaching a problem last year? Now, I understand Darvin Ham evidently has more friends than Roy Rogers, but it would appear, Mr. Rogers is what I meant to say, my apologies. Roy Rogers, not what I meant. But can we now objectively say he wasn't doing a good job? Can we say with, and now I know some have moved the goalpost to, well, remember, in his first year, he made the conference finals. So that's the standard, JJ, you've got to reach, which is kind of weird. It's like, okay, so this year, if they make the second round, it's bad. But then if in his third year, you win 45 games, it's improved. Doesn't really make sense, but it's fine. JJ Redick, I was concerned about JJ's ability to handle the day-to-day media scrutiny because I do think he is a little too online. I think you saw that from one of his quotes last week about what the kids were going to accuse him of doing. Like, that's not something you normally hear from a head coach. And I think that he might be a little too defensive. What nobody questioned was how much he knew basketball. And, again, I just want to know the rules of engagement on this stuff. Is it still LeBron James hired his podcast partner? Because if he did, does he get to share the Coach of the Year trophy if JJ wins it? Like, how does it work? I know, like, LeBron traded for Russell Westbrook, but made them trade for Anthony Davis, but doesn't get the 2 rings for the Anthony Davis move. But then does he get the Luka credit? Because you traded AD for Luka, or is it just the bad moves? He forced out poor Darvin Ham. He forced out poor Frank Vogel.
I will answer your question with a question.
Yeah.
If the Lakers flame out in the playoffs, are we allowed to say, oh, that didn't work? Or is it just supposed to be like, he's 40, what do you want him to do?
Well, what does flame out in the playoffs mean? If they lose in round 1, I think
I don't know. I really don't have a sense of what everyone's expectations are now that they're number 2 in the West. What are they supposed to do? So theoretically, lose in the Western Conference Finals, right?
I think that, so if they stay it, I think everyone's expectations normally are play to your seed.
Yeah.
Right? Like that, and so 2 would be that. If they were 2 and Denver was 3, would Denver be the favorite in that series?
Probably.
Maybe, you know what I mean? Be very, very close.
Yeah.
So, but again, they are the 2. They're also, I think, 1 game from being the 4, because 2, 3, 4 is so compacted. So I wouldn't consider, if they end up, let's say they lose 1 game in the standings and fall to the 4 spot, and they play OKC in round 2 and lose, I think
that's fine.
Yeah, and let's say they're the 2-3, the 2 or the 3, and play Denver in round 2.
I think that would be. I think that would be allowed to. I think Denver would still win.
I think that they need to. I think that right now, for me, losing to any team in the West that isn't OKC or Denver, if this team stays at this level of health, is underachieving. And so when it was like you were saying, well, he's 40 when I was talking about the coaching. If we're talking about who is going to get the lion's share of the blame there, we have to see how a series plays out if it happens. I know that the best player is supposed to be Luka. It hasn't been to this point. And so usually the best player gets the focus of it. But up to this point, it hasn't been Luka, it's been LeBron. And so we'll see if he can keep that up.
All right, so all of a sudden, Lakers are in second place, which means, as part of the rules, they should have an MVP candidate on the team. Here are the MVP odds right now. SGA basically going to run away with it. Then Joker at 2. Giannis far behind, tied with Tatum. What is that, plus 20,000?
Yeah.
Seems like a lot. And then Donovan. Cavs are more of a well-rounded team, so I think it's hard to pick somebody from the Cavs. But is LeBron in the conversation? He's got no odds.
Well, so, I mean, again, it's really a two-man race.
Mm-hmm.
The reason those other guys are on there is because no one has reached the 65-game threshold. So you can't, you know what I mean? So in theory, if God forbid, if Shea or Joker both went down with 2-month-long injuries, they wouldn't be eligible for MVP. So here's what I would like to stipulate.
Okay.
If we stipulate that in this year's NBA MVP debate, Joker and SGA are Josh Allen and Lamar from the NFL MVP debate.
Okay.
Where it is, those are the top two candidates. You know, you can have varying opinions about either one.
Joker is Lamar in this scenario because he's got the MVPs
no.
already?
I'm not even doing that piece of it. I'm saying that two guys separated themselves from the pack, but you have a 5-man ballot.
Got you.
So no one is arguing that LeBron should get a first or second place vote. I'm not arguing that yet. What I am saying is there is no argument for him not to be showing up 3rd, 4th, 5th on a bunch of ballots other than, we decided he's too old and we thought he wouldn't still be this good. So the reason the Lakers are the 2 seed, Wildes, there's a lot of reasons. This graphic right here might be the biggest. When LeBron has not had AD or Luka.
It's pretty good.
34, 8, and 8 on 58-55 splits, and they're 7-1. Okay, what are the individual numbers? Well, here are the guys who are top 25 in everything. Points, rebounds, and assists. LeBron, Giannis, and Jokic. So let's just compare LeBron's year to, again, I'm putting SGA and Joker aside. They are clearly 1 and 2 or 2 and 1.
You want him in the mix.
You showed me the 3 guys, so let's compare him to the other 3 guys who are on the odds list. Here's him against Giannis. So Giannis' field goal percentage is unreal. Giannis's numbers are better. The 55-47 games thing is noteworthy. The team record is noteworthy. But I would give the nod to Giannis there because the defensive numbers aren't on there, and LeBron's only been excellent defensively the last month or so. What about against Tatum? The games played edge to Tatum slightly. The win-loss edge to Tatum slightly. The rest of the numbers are not really an edge to Tatum. The field goal percentage is massive. 3-point percentage.
The 3-point percentage is shocking.
It is
I didn't
massive.
realize that was that big of a difference.
And then, when the 52 to 45% just general shooting against Donovan Mitchell. So against Donovan Mitchell, they've played basically the same amount of games. Now, Donovan's team, like Shea's team, are the 2 teams running away with it. If the argument is Donovan's team is so good, someone on their team's got to be represented, I get that.
Yeah, that's how I view it.
But
they're almost so well balanced, it hurts Donovan's case.
Well, it's what hurt. Tatum finished 6th last year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But look at there's not and LeBron's played as much as Donovan. There's not a category, not a single category. I guess 3-point percentage by 0.4 that Donovan's beating him.
Well, I'm a wins guy.
So
I'm a wins guy.
No, right. And I said that on the front end. I think some in the media Wildes prematurely moved on, or put LeBron in a part in their brain where it's like, okay, well, he's just not, going to be that guy in the first team All-NBA MVP discussions anymore. And this year, particularly oddly enough, since he turned 40, he has been. And so I think he's got a legitimate case to it.
Yeah, I think he can't win it, but he should be in the mix.
Well, no one can win it but those top 2 guys.
Yes, so I'd like to have him in the mix.
And can I just add one? As Rachel Maddow would say, point of personal privilege. She said the other night. I liked it. It's kind of a parliamentary thing. Because there's a lot of discussion right now about how the league is covered now versus how it once was covered.
Yeah, I don't necessarily.
I know you don't love that conversation.
Sure.
The
conversation about.
That's not what I'm doing. I promise. But if there's been an idea that LeBron gets protected by friends in the media. The media votes on these awards, obviously. It should just be noted that Michael Jordan in 1995, the year that we pretend he didn't play because he only played 17 games, came in 11th in MVP voting.
Yeah, well deserved.
For those. And then in 2002, with the Wizards, when he played 60 of their 82 games for a 37-win team with 41 and 19 splits, 41% from the field, 19% from three, on 23 points per game, he finished 12th in MVP voting. So again, like if there ever was a guy who got the benefit because, well, he's that guy, let's throw him on some ballots, the precedent's been set that you don't even have to play the full. You can play 17 games.
What's 12 mean? Like he got
no. I looked exactly that up. It means about a half dozen people had him either fourth or fifth. Is what it was. It wasn't where one person put you fifth.
Yeah.
I actually looked at the actual voting for both of those years. He finished like 12 points and 16 points, which is why he finished there. So, but that was either not playing or playing very poorly for a bad team. This is playing great for a team that right now is the fourth best odds to win the championship, and he happens to be a point away from 50,000. Seems noteworthy.
Just before we go to break, are you sure, were there names attached to those votes? Are we sure Brew did not place those votes?
I don't think Brew was a voter in 95. 02? Oh, 02, we might have to check that one out. 02. Josh, get on that. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.